Welcome back to the Higher Form Podcast. We're here every week having real conversations with leaders, coaches, and everyday people about what it takes to become your best. We know life will test you, and we're here to share practical tips, tools, and relatable stories to help you build the highest form of your life. This week's episode, we are talking about Supplements 101. What is worth taking, what's not worth taking, and more importantly, giving you some insight to what me, Nick, and
Britni,
your hosts, are taking on a regular basis. Welcome back. We're excited to get into this.
Yeah, supplements are a hot topic in this industry.
Yeah.
So we thought it would make sense to just dive into, well, what do we believe in? What do we take? What do we feel like is worth it or not? So we'll just kind of share our personal usage and go from there.
It's funny because when we were talking about this and ironing out what all we wanted to cover, we take a lot of supplements.
It's going to sound like a lot, but not all of them are all the time.
Yep.
Right. I mean, sometimes some of them are seasonally or whatnot.
Most importantly, we only take them because we're looking to close that gap from like small 1 to 2 to 5 to maybe 10% increments of progress, or closing the gap from what we would consider good to great. I think it is important to start with the fact that supplements are supplementary.
I like to say supplements are there to supplement a healthy diet and lifestyle. So they shouldn't be what you rely on to get optimal ranges of your vitamin and mineral counts in your body. But they're there to optimize and get you from maybe a good point to a better point.
And we'll dive into all the different scenarios for where supplementation can make a significant difference, but it should go without being said. You have to prioritize good nutrition, good sleep, training, and then supplementation can fill the gaps for where there's opportunities to optimize, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
And keep in mind that the supplement industry is a $60 billion industry. Lots of money to be had in selling supplements. Your favorite influencers have probably tried to sell you something at some point in time. There's supplement shops and stores and all types of different places that are full of good stuff, but also things that maybe aren't ideal. So we'll dive into some of the things towards the end that we are not really big or keen on, and help you just really navigate what's worth the investment and what's not.
Well, and just because I take it or you take it doesn't mean that everybody needs to be taking it, right? So you kind of have to decide what makes the most sense for you. Some of these things, it would be beneficial for you to get lab work done to decide if you need it, what type of dose you need. So use your best judgment on whether it makes sense for you to be taking something like this or not.
And whether you're listening to us or you're listening to someone else, don't just take it because someone else takes it.
Yeah.
Like any advice, you should do your own research, and you should validate whether or not it's something that makes sense for you, not just because someone you admire or look up to, or someone who inspires you or who looks fit is taking it, should you take it. So we're not here to sell you on the idea of taking what we take. We're doing what we do.
But there's a lot of misconceptions about supplements. So we wanted to give you a little insight on what works for us. What do we like? What are we taking consistently? Whether we notice a difference with it or not. Things that we've maybe tried and don't take anymore. So let's
dive right in.
Let's dive right in.
The first section, so we've broken this down into sections and different types of supplementation, really to make it simple and easy to categorize so that we can understand the value and what supplements fit under each benefit category.
So the first one is protein and recovery support. So that's more so like our whey protein. We both take whey protein pretty regularly. I don't do it every day.
I actually don't do it as often. I'm not as consistent with it as maybe I have been in the past. I have been really intentional about trying to get most of my protein through whole food sources, because
which is step one.
Ideal. But getting more protein in your diet is simplified by adding in some whey shakes here or there. I recommend the powder and then adding your own fluid and mixing it in versus doing something that's pre-made, just to avoid all the additives and extra junk and fillers and
I think we've talked about that at a previous episode as well. And then, I mean, collagen is another form of protein. It's not necessarily going to help you build muscle, but it's going to support.
So when you look at whey protein or like a casein protein, they're going to have principles that will help more with like building and supporting recovery from strength training and building muscle mass, where collagen is going to be really more tendon, joint health, support focused.
Yeah.
So obviously those two things are big. Another supplement that can fit in this category around protein performance recovery support is creatine.
Yeah.
Creatine's one that you hear a lot of people talking about nowadays, especially for the benefits beyond the physical performance side of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of studies around how it can help with people who are experiencing sleep deprivation or suboptimal sleep, brain function,
Right.
mental performance, and cognitive performance as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
Obviously, creatine is going to be helpful for producing more energy and ATP in your body, but also helping out with muscle preservation too. So,
Yeah.
the cool part about creatine, it's one of the safest and most widely studied products or supplements out there. Not a whole lot of side effects to it or negative issues with taking it, but some people do have a little bit more bloat and digestive distress if they're doing too much at once. We've even experienced this.
Yeah, I was taking it regularly and I just was like, I look bloated all the time. And I was like, God, I think it's the creatine because I would
Yep.
take it and immediately after I would just like look bloated. So a recommendation that I had seen was to break my dose up, like don't take all of it at once, do half here, half there, so
Yep.
your digestive system can like process through it a little bit better.
For sure. Now, how much should I take of these things if I am going to implement them? Typically, for whey protein shakes, I would do anywhere from like 25 to 40 grams,
Which most serving
which are most
sizes
serving
for your
sizes.
container.
So
Yeah.
make sure you're looking at the serving size. How many scoops do you need to do?
Yeah.
I would stay away from the ones that are like all these crazy flavors, like we've talked about in the past. Make sure that you're looking
Yeah.
for something with minimal ingredients. The less ingredients, the easier to digest and absorb.
Chocolate and vanilla are pretty safe.
Yep. Collagen, typically, you can go in different dosages here, but anywhere from 10 to 20 grams is a general recommendation. I think it's important to understand that collagen is not a complete protein, which is why it's not going to be as beneficial for building muscle mass. It would be for some of the other benefits that go in with that.
Yeah, and I think collagen it's easy. We throw it in our coffee, or if I'm making muffins, like I'll throw a couple scoops into muffins.
I
Like
put it
there's
into oatmeal
yeah,
before.
there's so many places where you can just kind of like toss it in there and it's just added nutrients, for your system. So
And when we say it's not a complete protein, that means that it doesn't have an amino acid profile that's built in with it.
yeah,
Whereas whey protein, obviously all of
has
your
a full
yeah,
amino acid
a full
profile.
amino
Yeah.
acid profile along with it. Creatine, the general recommendation is 5 grams per day, but that's actually starting to get challenged, and a lot of people are encouraging higher dosages depending on the person. But it's like anything. I'm 200 and almost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
You're 150-ish pounds.
Yeah.
We should be taking doses that make sense. I have a lot more muscle mass than Brittany does.
Yeah, thank you for sharing my weight with the public. I'm
Oh
just
my
kidding. I'm
goodness.
just kidding. Yeah, I'm absolutely 150, 145, 150 pounds. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't say 155. Right? I went for the lower end of
I
what I was
mean, I
thinking.
have been 155
Yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah, appreciate that.
Just give you a hard time. 5 grams is like the baseline, and that's what most containers are going to tell you is a serving size. And that's a good place to start, especially if you've never taken it, especially if you do notice some bloating. Like I wouldn't go above that, or if you do break up your dosage, but
Yep.
like 5 grams is a place to start.
Especially for the physical performance benefits.
Yeah.
A lot of the suggestions around higher doses are more for higher doses to see the cognitive and sleep deprivation benefits.
Yeah.
Things to look out for, red flags. Watch out for proprietary blends. A very common thing that we'll probably say multiple times today is look for good quality versions of this, things that are third party tested, that are properly sourced, minimal ingredients, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
GMP stamped, good
Yep.
manufacturing practices, third party tested. They even can show their lab reports on their like website.
Yep.
You just want to know that what you're getting is what's on the label and they don't have extra stuff in there and that they've been tested, in all the different ways that they can be tested. Because again, the supplement industry is an unregulated industry. So you need to do your due diligence by making sure that you are getting a quality one by checking those boxes.
You beat me to the punch.
I
I was
got
like
you.
sitting here, I had my air all sucked in, ready to say, because
Stole the words right out of your mouth.
look at that. Well, cool. Not a whole lot of contradictions with protein or creatine. I think these are safe. They're good to go. We use them. Get after it.
Yep.
Next,
Vitamins and minerals.
everything that you would consider like micronutrients, right?
Yeah.
When you hear macros, you think protein, carbs,
Fats.
and fats. But these are all the vitamins and minerals, the micronutrients that your body needs to function at an optimal level, essentially like the body's control center.
Yep. So we've got a couple different supplements in this category as well. Number one would be vitamin D. Vitamin D3, K2 specifically is a
Great
good
for hormonal health,
form to take
for
it.
bone health, for immune health.
Yep.
One that is commonly tested in labs
Yes.
So if you have not checked your vitamin D levels, this would be one that would be a very simple and affordable thing to check.
It's an easy add-on if you're getting a lab panel
Super
in
duper easy.
general. Yeah.
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 So knowing your vitamin D levels can help a ton. It helps with energy even too. I've had clients tell me that
Yeah.
when they were deficient versus when they started supplementing, they noticed a big boost in energy.
Well, it acts as a hormone, so it's going to support your mood regulation, thyroid health, muscle function.
All the
I mean,
things.
all of it. We personally have both gotten our vitamin D tested different times, so we know exactly a dose that makes sense for us
Yeah.
to maintain or increase our levels personally.
The one we use is it's drops. There's some vitamin D and a lot of multivitamins, so you can look at that there. The drops, you can look at how many drops equal how many IUs.
Yep.
And they typically recommend, I think it's somewhere around like a thousand IUs per 25 pounds of body weight. If I recall that right, I know we wrote down here somewhere around 2,000 to 5,000 IUs a day.
Yeah.
I've heard of people even talking about, and this is obviously something you'll want to do your own research on, but doing bursts or higher doses whenever you are feeling under the weather, just to kind of help stimulate a little bit of like a nutrient flush in your body.
Yeah. Or if you don't absorb it very well, which you would know through doing labs
Lab
and your
testing.
doctor or the person who did your labs tells you that.
Another one, magnesium. There are different types, three different types of magnesium. We'll only talk about the two that we've actually supplemented. You have magnesium glycinate, citramate, and threonate or threonate. I don't even know how to say it because I'm
Yeah.
not as familiar with it.
I think there's way more than just three different forms of
Those are the three that I'm
magnesium.
familiar with. So for all I know, there are only three types of magnesium.
There's a lot of different versions and forms of magnesium. The common ones are
The ones we're familiar with would be glycinate or citramate. Magnesium is a electrolyte,
Yeah.
so it is involved in all of the electrical aspects of the way our body functions. Great for relaxation, deep sleep, reducing stress. It definitely plays a role in, converting food to energy, and like we talked about, the maintaining the electrolyte balance, and even muscle. It can act as a natural muscle relaxer, especially the citramate,
Yeah.
which can help with digestion if you're having a hard time staying regular. Magnesium can help
Yeah.
soften the process, if you
Yeah.
will.
Magnesium citrate is the version if you need some digestive support.
Yep.
And then magnesium glycinate, which is what we're currently taking
Yep.
pretty much every single night, helps with sleep and recovery and
Put me to
muscle.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do notice a difference
I think I
when I
have as
take
well,
it,
I'll be
especially because I've
honest.
been taking it regularly for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another big one would be omega-3 for inflammation and heart health. You'll hear a lot of people talk about whether or not fish oil or omega-3s is something that is necessary to supplement. It's one of those things, kind of like protein. If you're getting it in
Your
your
diet.
diet, then maybe it's not as necessary. So,
And we honestly don't eat a ton of fish
nope,
regularly. Not that
over
you,
salmon.
I, especially
Over
if
it.
it's cooked too much or
Yeah.
something.
Put
Salmon's,
some honey on it, glaze it up with some teriyaki sauce, and I'll choke it down. But
yeah, salmon, yeah. So we don't eat a ton of fish in our house,
we really don't.
unfortunately. We're also from Kansas and it's just not super
We're all
fresh.
about
So
that beef.
so we do supplement with omega-3s because we aren't getting it as much naturally in our diet as maybe we would like to.
Yeah, typically things to look for in omega-3s, how much EPA and DHA. I'm not going to get too much into like recommendations for how many milligrams
Yeah.
or what the dosage for that should look like. I do one of thorns in the morning and one of thorns in the evening for the EPA.
I take
The EPA is more inflammatory management based. DHA is more hormonal pathway based, from what at least I understand.
And I'm taking a prenatal DHA
Yep.
still, even though I'm
Yep.
I'm
And I take the
postpartum,
EPA more for like just inflammation management.
inflammation support.
Yep. Speaking of prenatals,
Yeah, I take a prenatal multivitamin and I probably will for the rest of my life.
what's the difference between a prenatal multivitamin and a regular multivitamin?
Well, the just vitamin dosage in them is different. Things that are important when you're growing a baby, build up your nutrient stores in your body, when you're breastfeeding, when you're postpartum and you have to recoup your stores. There's dosages of higher B vitamins, folate, iron. I mean, it's just, yeah, you could compare a prenatal compared to just like a women's daily or something like that, and you'll see that the dosages of certain vitamins are just bigger. So I'm still taking a prenatal multivitamin every single day. That's basically my multivitamin right now.
And multivitamins in general can range a ton
Yes.
from what you're getting. Like I think about when I was a kid, I ate the Flintstones multivitamins.
I mean, yeah, there's
And what you get
million
in
and one.
that versus what you get in like we'll talk about Thorne a lot because it's a company that transparently we're affiliated with, but the reason we're affiliated with it is because they are legit,
They're third party tested,
pharmaceutical grade,
GMP stamped.
all the things, highly
Yeah.
supported by very
They're
large and
NSF
trusted,
certified,
yep,
so athletes can use their
Olympic level,
products. Yeah.
professional level athletes.
Yeah.
A lot of big names and trusted sources partner with them. So we felt like it
Yeah.
was a good one. One of the few that you can really hang your hat on from a quality
Yeah,
standpoint.
know what you're getting is
Yep.
legit. Yeah.
But I've done everything from their basic 2-a-day to get just kind of gives you the general vitamin mineral profile to their performance, 2-a-day or their performance where you take like 3 in the morning, 3 at night.
Yeah.
So a lot of different options of multivitamins.
Yeah.
As far as red flags, the like high potency like mega packs, I feel like I remember when I was in high school, I used to go to GNC and they had the little like pre-pack made packages with these giant hard like horse pill looking ones
Mm.
that always makes your urine a really weird color. That like somebody out there knows what I'm
Does
talking
Nate know
about.
what you're talking
I
about?
don't, he shook his head. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But they were the like the GNC performance ones.
Yeah.
And I remember getting those and like the protein and pre-workout and stuff when I go to the stores there. But I don't know that there was a whole lot of absorption happening with that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes there's just a bunch of shit packed in there for the sake of saying that there's a ton of nutrients. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's like you go to Walmart and you get the one a day and it's a big, just like dry pill that you swallow. So
Yeah,
personally, a lot of stuff that we take is like capsule form.
correct.
A lot of the supplements that we get from Thorne are in a capsule
Fun science
style.
project. Take a capsule and take one of the hard compressed pills,
Mm-hmm.
put them both in a clear cup with water, and watch how long it takes for them to break down. You will understand the digestibility and absorption opportunity looks very different. When the capsule melts, there's a thinner barrier to get to the nutrients inside. It can be delivered faster or quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas if the hard, compact, compressed one gets through your digestive system and passes certain key absorption points,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it never gets fully broken down, which means it can never get fully absorbed.
Yeah, for
Fun
sure.
fact.
For sure.
Other things on that one, just get tested for dialing in on this. Like if you don't know where to start, I think
Get
go
it lab.
capsulated,
Yeah.
good quality, and do it. Start with the basic. But if you have lab panels, then you can look into the vitamin D, the magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're somebody who is taking in a lot of caffeine and you're high stressed or you're not able to get high quality foods, tap into some organic stuff. Maybe you recognize that your energy is low or you just in general aren't feeling too high. I would recommend looking into the vitamin D, the magnesium, and supplementing those things more for like a stress management
Yeah, for sure.
standpoint.
Yep, I would agree.
Up next,
Metabolic and hormonal support. So I think I'll let you talk a little bit more on this one. These
yeah,
are
for
some
sure.
things that you have taken or
Yeah,
are taking, and I haven't really played with these much. So
so as a 35-year-old male, you always hear guys going into their mid to late 30s and into their 40s, and they're talking about their testosterone levels. And, should I do some type of TRT or should I take any supplements or should I get a test booster or whatever that
mm-hmm.
might be? We went through a period of time during the big business transition we had a year or two ago where I had a lot of stress. I wasn't able to prioritize some of the things that help with natural hormone balance, sleep, strength training,
Yeah.
stress management in general. So I started looking around. I heard Andrew Huberman talk about Tongkat Ali and boron and some other supplements in one of his episodes about natural ways to improve testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked around at some different supplements, found one, has the silliest name. I don't love it. It's called Marsmen because your testosterone is going to go to Mars.
It's gonna
Silly.
blast off.
Don't love the marketing, but it seemed to help. I've had my testosterone levels checked a couple times, and I was on the low end of optimal last time I did it, but I'd only been taking that for a couple of months, and I had felt a lot more like I've improved that. I'm due to retest, so I should definitely do that before I go to bat at saying this was a game changer. But
Yeah, just to see how it's actually
for
impacted
for
your
sure. So I
testosterone
think that's
levels as a
important too.
natural.
Is if you're gonna do any type of hormonal supplementation or support for hormonal supplementation for hormonal support, get your labs done before. I didn't,
Yeah.
and get them done afterwards to see the validity of it. Because you may feel better, but there's a lot of placebo that goes into supplementation as well.
Totally. How long have you been taking that then now? Because you did
Oh,
labs after you were on it for 2 to 3 months,
about
let's say.
about 3 to 4 months. I started it in February and got my labs done in May or June. And then it's November now, so I'm like definitely due to check again.
Just because either way you were pretty new to taking it, it probably wasn't making a huge difference in your levels. But now that you've been taking it for 8, 9 months, maybe it's
And I've been
actually,
consistent.
yeah.
Another one would be berberine. I actually have always had a little bit higher baseline blood sugar. I have a lot of people in my family who have dealt with diabetes. A lot of it, I would argue, was lifestyle driven, but I've had a family history of higher blood sugar. I remember when I first got done playing football in college, when I was working at Lifetime, they used to do the health scores where they like prick your finger, and I was just always at awe that my blood sugar would come in just above 100 when I was fasted,
Mm-hmm.
and the ideal range is like 85.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not figure it out for the life of me. I changed my diet up. I cut down some of my carbohydrates. I tried to manage my stress better. I reduced the intensity of training. So everything I did before was like high
Mm-hmm.
intensity. That definitely helped. But taking berberine in addition to doing those things has always been beneficial. I actually had data from follow-up lab tests or blood stick or just basic metabolic panels that supported that.
Yeah.
So when I got my labs done this
Couple
May,
months ago,
a
yeah.
couple months ago, that was one of the only things. And I even did use a CGM to track it. And what's interesting is I just have a higher baseline.
Mm-hmm.
I am a pretty go person, so I think that that's probably part of it, and it can definitely be stress induced, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it's not still hard on your body. So I'm a big fan of berberine. They call it nature's GLP-1,
Yeah.
which is also used not just for weight loss, but also blood sugar management. So
Yep.
it's great to use around high carb meals, but as far as red flags for metabolic and hormonal support, stay away from the things that say natural test boosters or taking test boosters without any data or science behind it. One of the things behind the Marsman stuff that I talked about was that they seem to have quite a bit of scientific backing and everything seemed to be pretty legit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it, I think, for metabolic and hormonal support.
Next one, gut immune and inflammation support. So that's probiotics is
Yep.
in here.
Yeah, well, I think the thing to start with on this part is that your gut ultimately is, and you hear people talk about your gut microbiome, ultimately is like the internal ecosystem that impacts everything
Yeah,
in the way that your body functions.
for sure.
If you don't have a healthy gut, you're not going to be able to digest and absorb nutrients the right way. And if you don't have the ability to get the right nutrients, your immune system is going to be compromised.
Yeah.
And if your immune system's compromised, you're going to have a lot of inflammation. So having a healthy gut is absolutely necessary if you want to optimize your health. If you find that you're getting sick a lot,
Yeah.
these can play a large role.
Yeah.
And you've even stumbled across some recently, like what you call like targeted probiotics, like the boys you told me about the ENT specific.
Yeah, it's a brand called Super Teeth, and it was like it was like a dental probiotic. So
Yeah.
probiotic strains that support, I mean, your oral microbiome and how that impacts everything. Because
We've been waiting
technically,
for an opportunity to talk about tongue scraping, and this is it.
oh yeah, we have. We also tongue scrape every single day. I know that's kind of like an, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an Ayurvedic practice.
Ayurvedic.
Yeah, is that
Couldn't
it?
spell it, but I
I
think I
know,
said
did
it
I
right.
say it right?
Yeah.
It's like an
Ayurvedic.
Ayurvedic practice, but after we discovered it, we tongue scrape every day, and honestly, if
So
you
if you've
don't
ever,
if you
for
don't tongue scrape now and you do it, you're gonna
you're never going back.
you're never going back.
If you've ever used a power washer for the first time, the pure, just what's the word I'm looking for? The pure,
I don't know, but you can brush your tongue with your toothbrush and it's not the same as using a tongue scraper.
I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but the first time I ever used a power washer, or every time I use a power washer, it's just like really nice to just
It gets
see
in there.
how, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with it, but I know where I'm going with it. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
The same thing happened the first time you tongue scrape. So the way this thing looks, if you're watching,
You could
basically,
Google a tongue
yeah,
scraper.
I
Yeah.
don't even know how to explain it. It's like a little
It's
piece
like
of
a
metal,
little, yeah, metal, and you can
like an
get
upside down U shape or V
pretty much,
shape.
and you just like open your mouth, stick your tongue out, and you just like kind of pull it on your tongue, and then
Yep.
you rinse it off, and
Just to
it's just
see the amount of
stuff left over.
stuff
And
that,
then I do this after I brush my teeth
yep,
and even brush my tongue with my toothbrush,
yep,
and you tongue scrape, and you're just like, oh, that was still there.
yeah, it's wild.
Ew. Yeah. So now we tongue scrape every single day because it's just so disturbing to not, because you
So
know what's
tying this
there.
back into gut health,
Your
your
oral
your
microbiome.
oral microbiome, what
Yeah.
is in your mouth ends up in your gut.
Yeah.
And that's why brushing your teeth is a great not supplementary, but mandatory process. Like you should keep your mouth clean because it's going to affect your gut.
Yeah. Well, that's where food starts. It starts in your mouth. You start absorbing things
Yep.
right
Chew
away.
it to break it down,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
put it down and digest it. But
So probiotics are important. Again, there's so many different strains out there. The cool thing, Thorne has a little questionnaire. You can answer like 5 different questions and then it'll give you a recommendation on which probiotic of theirs that they would recommend that you take based off of.
which is honestly the hardest part about taking a probiotic is there are so many different types out there that you can actually take a probiotic and it not be the right strain or
Or it can
setup
make
for
you
you.
it can make you bloated or make you have some digestive irritability.
Yep.
And you can also do your research like, well, why are you taking a probiotic? What do you want it to do for you? What do you need the support with?
Yep.
And you kind of might have to trial and error some different ones or do some sort of like test. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to figure out, but probiotics are definitely beneficial. Another thing is just eating fermented foods,
Yep.
right? Kraut, kimchi, those kinds of things
Yep.
can give you
Kombucha.
live,
Cultures.
live culture, live active cultures.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then another thing that we've found, we have 2 dogs. We love them to death, but they bring allergies into our house.
And we let them sit on our couches and lay on our beds and all the things
Yep.
because we do. I don't even need to explain ourselves. We do. They only live for so long. Couches come and go. You got to give dogs the life that they want.
I'm with it. I don't
So
argue.
anyway, they bring a lot of allergies into the home. So we do suffer with allergies in our house because they bring a lot inside, and that's not going to change anytime
I
soon.
wouldn't say we suffer from allergies. We've experienced allergies.
Yeah, I don't, did I say
You
suffer?
said suffer.
I don't know.
Oh my God. I
Um,
can't breathe.
well, we do have a lot of allergies.
We do.
Seasonal allergies.
I was not as familiar with quercetin and bromelain for allergy relief, so I'll let you talk more on those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a natural immune inflammation support. So, I mean, like, you can take Zyrtec or Claritin, but this is supposed to be like a less pharmaceutical version of an
Yep.
allergy support. Zinc is also an immune supporting supplement. So right now I am personally taking quercetin, bromelain, and zinc because with the seasonal change, my allergies started to flare up. I was getting a little congested, so I just upped my dosage of those things. Now I don't take those all year round all the time. I just take them pretty much during seasonal changes when things tend to flare up
I don't actually
outside.
do much of any of these. I take probiotics a little bit more sparingly. I might do them every other day, but there are times when I run out where I don't take them. I
Yeah.
also have done zinc intermittently during seasonal
Usually when you're
changes.
sick, zinc is like a good one to up your
Same with like vitamin
dosage
C. That's
on.
another
Yeah.
one we could throw in here as well. NAC.
We take NAC.
Some people call it NAC.
That's weird. I call it
Every
NAC.
time I hear someone say that they take it, they're like, I'm on NAC. And it's like, NAC? And they're like, yes.
I think of like ATP, like at.
Yeah. And then that's not, you don't pronounce it,
I know,
the
but that's what I'm
acronym
saying.
NAC.
I don't want to say NAC. I'm
Yeah.
going to say NAC.
Same. I think it stands for N-acetylcysteine. I
Yeah.
believe that's what it's called.
Yeah, so we take that. That's kind of another immune supporting one.
Yeah, it's great for like a natural mucus and decongestant for your respiratory system,
Yes.
your sinuses.
Yeah.
It reduces inflammation naturally, all kinds of different stuff there. So
So that's another kind of, we don't take it all the time, but if we're feeling maybe a congestion starting up, flaring up, we'll up our dose of that.
another thing about NAC is that it is a precursor to glutathione, which I am not as experienced to talk about, but you have some more knowledge around
Well, I
glutathione.
mean, glutathione is supportive of like all of your body's processes.
Yeah.
So it helps you do everything. It's involved in a lot of enzymatic processes in your body. So anything that's going to support that. I mean, you can get glutathione like injections, you can take a glutathione supplement directly.
Yep.
So this is just a precursor to supporting your body's natural ability to do that process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's something that's worth mentioning along the way here is that a lot of these things that you're supplementing are things that are naturally occurring in your body.
You're just trying to help optimize and get your body to do it better, maybe do it in a higher dose during a certain season for a certain reason.
And sometimes you're not getting enough quality nutrients because of the mass production of food in
Totally.
the USA specifically. I think a lot of other countries run into the same thing, but the quality of soil, the opportunity to and accessibility to things that are sustainably farmed and grown
Yeah.
makes it a lot more difficult to get into that. From an
100%.
inflammation standpoint, turmeric's a big one to throw in there. Well, it is more of a natural anti-inflammatory. I've use this some whenever I'm in higher intensity periods of training to help with naturally, like instead of like an ibuprofen
Yeah.
for acute inflammation, taking turmeric instead.
Yep.
So like when I was training for the ultra last year, I remember using turmeric and some other supplements to just help with the total volume of intensity and inflammation that my body was processing through.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Red flags, detox capsules.
Yeah.
Thinking about like detox products, thinking about detox teas, gut health, things
Yeah.
like that. It's going to
Yeah.
be, you're going to see all kinds of different gut cleanses out there.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it is important to go through and flush and do a liver gut detox every once in a while. But
Yeah.
like anything, there's a lot of gimmicky stuff
Yeah.
around cleansing.
Your liver's job is to detox your body. It pulls all the things out. So what you can do is take things that support your liver's ability to do so.
Correct.
You don't need to drink a tea to flush your digestive system. I mean, sure,
You could.
go
May
ahead.
not be very comfortable.
Yes, there's other ways to do it.
One that we didn't talk about on the metabolic health that I'm going to circle back on is fiber. Supplementing for fiber for blood sugar regulation. It also fits into the gut health side of it too for digestive health.
You mean the powder
Yeah,
versus
supplementing
food.
fiber versus food, right? And this is
And
another
again,
one of
if
those
you're not
things.
getting enough fiber, if you're not eating enough vegetables, sure, add a fiber supplement
Yeah, so if
to,
you are wanting some type of like detox, make sure you're getting enough fiber. And if you're not, you can supplement with fiber. But there are also different types of protein powders out there that come with more complete profiles of vitamins and minerals. I think about the Metaclear SGS from Thorne.
yeah,
That's one we've used with clients who are like wanting to feel like they have that detox experience.
yeah,
You can do a shorter term elimination style diet and take about a 10 to 14 day period of time where you're doing these shakes and pairing that with any fiber, or glutamine's another one that we haven't talked about for gut health and improving the lining of your gut
yeah.
and recovery and those things too. So there are definitely things out there, but like if some skinny fit person on Instagram is talking about this magical detox, you might approach it with some
Yeah,
caution.
I don't know that people do that as much anymore. They're just,
You don't see it in your feed. I don't necessarily either, but
that's
I
true. I guess
100%
I don't personally
understand.
see it in my feed anymore. So
Just talking to people, I get that
yeah,
question a lot. Well, what about this juice cleanse? What about this
yeah,
detox? I
yeah,
follow this person. They told me to do this and they lost
yeah,
30 pounds, So
yeah, for sure.
I think
Makes
just be
sense.
wary about those things. And like anything that we've talked about, I'll say it again, just make sure you do your research beforehand.
Yeah.
Next
Next one,
section,
jinx.
performance.
Performance, hydration, and endurance.
Food and fluid are going to be any type of pre-workout magic. I think this is a big one to start with. Carbs are a great pre-workout supplement.
Yeah, 100%. Eat a piece of toast,
A banana.
a rice cake, an
Yeah.
apple.
I would stay away from something that's like super high fiber. Like oats are a little bit tougher just because they're going to be a little more dense.
Yeah,
Something that maybe is like somewhere between the quick and slow digesting, depending on how much time you have in between.
yeah,
But electrolytes going to be another big one too. And while, Gatorade, Powerade, Body Armor, all these other highly popular ones that are out there and accessible, you go buy at the convenience store or at Walmart or whatever, are options. Be conscious of how much sugar is in them to make them ideal to take, unless you are using them in scenarios where you are needing to replenish carbohydrates.
for sure. And sugars, because they have a lot of sugar-free options now too. But what are the other ingredients in there, right? What other fillers or dyes or just things? Suc
Sucralose.
Sucralose, I like always.
Sucralose.
Sucralose can be irritable on the gut as well. We tend to try to stay
Yep.
away from that, which is used in a lot of different drinks. And so
Or
anytime we have a drink like that, we get like super bloated because it's irritable to
I
the
think back
digestive
to
system.
like the days we used to eat Quest bars all the time. They have like the sugar alcohols in there,
Yeah, exactly.
and that stuff
Same
is
thing.
also really hard on your gut.
Yeah.
So it's why like we didn't talk about protein bars, but
Yeah.
we don't really do them.
We don't eat protein bars
Yeah.
like ever.
Yeah. I would argue that they are more harmful from a digestive and gut standpoint than they are beneficial.
To get 10 grams of protein.
I will say I've seen these David bars come out. I have only tried them once or twice, but they seem like one of the cleaner options for protein bars. Your boy Huberman, my guy Huberman, the guy, somebody that a lot of people lean into and trust in the industry is back them.
Yeah.
I think that they're probably one of the better options if you are going to go that
And the
route.
only time I feel like I'm going to go that route is if we're on a road trip and it's the only thing I can find or
For
something,
sure.
right? Like I'd rather have a
Beef
half a cup of
jerky.
cottage cheese or some beef jerky or a
Yep.
yogurt or whatever
Yep.
before I picked like a protein bar.
Same.
Yeah. So electrolytes, right? Super important for someone who's super active, sweating a lot, maybe just doesn't get enough hydration, drinking water.
Conscious around the amount of sodium in there. I think that's important too because you'll see a pretty large variety. We are also affiliated with and big fans of LMNT or Element. They taste really good, and
They
we
are
are.
higher sodium though. And so the first time I ever tried them, like years ago, I was like, oh my God, that's so salty.
Yep.
And then the more I drank it, or I used to use like
Have some in
half a
here.
packet, and then the more I drank it, the more I actually craved and wanted that salt. And now I drink a full packet with like less water than I have before because my body craves the salt. I like the salt. I need the salt.
Yeah, and we also don't have a very processed food diet, which means that our sodium intake collectively from food is a lot lower.
Correct.
And so if you're someone who's eating a little bit cleaner, you're sweating more, you're working on a regular basis,
You need to
you're going to
replenish.
need to replenish sodium at a higher level than most people would. If
Yes.
you're eating a lot of processed foods, maybe not so much because you're getting a lot of sodium in those foods. But I think it's one that, like there's this, well, I can't, my doctor told me I can't have salt type of thing. It's like, well, the reason you get that recommendation is probably not because you don't, there's not benefit for you having salt. It's that you're getting too much sodium through other areas
Yeah.
that maybe aren't benefiting you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yep. Another performance endurance support supplement that we like is UCAN or Generation UCAN.
Really cool supplement. It is a hydrolyzed cornstarch that is boiled down into like a starchy powder.
Hmm.
It was originally created. Go to their website and watch the
Yeah,
video
they got
and
their
the
whole
science
story
behind
there.
it. It's really cool. It was originally created, the founder, his son was diagnosed with a rare form of hypoglycemia, I believe, and rare blood sugar disorder where he could not, they would have to wake him up in the middle of the night for intermittent carbohydrate feedings because he couldn't stabilize his blood sugar appropriately.
Hmm.
And they built this formula to try to help him be able to sleep through the night without having to get feedings, and it worked. And then it took off in the endurance industry because what's cool about it is it helps you get the boost of energy and stabilize without the spike or the crash.
It's a slower digesting form of a carb that,
And it is
yeah,
very gut friendly. It is
yeah.
something that is really easy on your gut. So even while you're in the middle of exercising, this is one I use a lot for any endurance types of things that
Hmm.
we've done or I have done in the past. When you're in the middle of exercising, it's easily digestible. It's got a little bit of a texture to it depending on what form you take in. The packets are really nice to use when you're on the go. But I'm a big fan of UCAN, always have been.
Yeah, and we just found these like honey pouches, like HNY plus is like honey plus is the
Hmm.
brand. Same thing. It's a quick digesting carb for endurance or workouts or
Basically, a really high quality honey and high quality Himalayan pink salt.
yeah, they have salt. It was literally just like a salty honey in your mouth.
Yeah.
But it's just quick digesting fuel for an endurance activity that we'll take. Like right now we're training for a high rocks, I
Yep.
think, and we'll use these pre-workout, intra-workout as support to help us be able to put
This
more
will
energy
drop right
into
around
it.
the time that we're doing it, right before or right
That's what I
after.
was just thinking. I was
Yeah, I
like,
could
when?
tell.
I was like, wait, when is this gonna drop?
But yeah, another performance supplement is caffeine. That's one that a lot of people don't talk about. We typically don't get it in pre-workout form or energy drink form. If I am going to have caffeine for a workout, it's either going to be coffee or maybe in like these HMYs, they have caffeinated versions or
Yeah.
things of that nature. I personally do like taking stem-free pre-workouts, just the citrulline, the beta-alanine, some of those things that make you kind of feel like that pump and blood flow enhancement, maybe a little bit of the tingly feeling.
Yeah.
Enjoy doing that, especially before I do any type of lifting. But as far as implementation for these things, just remember the value of them is hydration, carbohydrates to drive performance and recovery.
Yeah.
And the element packets before or during training once a day are great.
Mhm.
The UCAN is great for any endurance, like once you're passing an hour to 90 minutes,
Yeah.
anything around 75 minutes or more. Pre-workout, great for strength training. But I would definitely stay away from the high caffeine, quote unquote, pump mixes and anything that maybe is underdosed from an electrolyte standpoint.
Yeah.
It's just like pre-workout, you get in a lot of weeds there. I think there's a lot of junk out
Yeah.
there from a
I don't take
pre-workout.
any pre-workout. I know you like the pump. You just like the pump feel, that
I
kind of
do, and I think that there,
jolt
I
of,
think there's definitely value in that. Once again, as long as it's properly sourced and
yeah.
it's quality and it's some from a place you can trust.
Yeah.
So, joint
Next.
health and longevity, healthy joints. Obviously, the healthier your joints, the more longevity you have, the longer you can move. Really, the main one on this would be glucosamine chondroitin. This is one that I don't think you've ever really done a whole lot of supplementing with.
Mm-mm.
But when I was doing a lot of running and a lot of time on my feet last year for the ultra I trained for, using that to help support joint health with all the impact was really beneficial. I felt like that helped. It's definitely more of a preventative care versus a reactive supplement.
Yeah.
Collagen, what we mentioned earlier, is great for connective tissue support, so that's one that can be beneficial there.
Yeah.
And we are doing daily fish oil for managing inflammation, those things as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two things. Usually you find glucosamine, like glucon supplements, they're together. You don't want to supplement them separately.
Yeah. Yep.
And then really, I think the last couple of things we wanted to talk about is what's nice to have, but are things that we don't necessarily do anymore, or we don't see the value in doing, but also what's not worth taking.
Well, we've done like a greens powder before.
Hmm.
Thorn has one. We've tried it. We've done it for a little bit. It wasn't something that we stayed consistent with. Also, we just tried to just include greens and vegetables and things in our diet more
Yep.
and just get it that way. Because at the end of the day, we're only going to take so many supplements, and that one is just
And as you can
didn't
see,
really
we
do it
cycle
for
in a
us.
lot of different ones for different reasons. I think
Yeah.
those are the ones that just didn't feel like they were as easy to maintain in our routine.
Yeah, it's almost as simple as that, because it's not that it's not beneficial to have some of the vitamins and minerals that it provides. It was just more like we just didn't keep up with it, and it just didn't make sense to add it to our routine
So if you're someone who
consistently.
doesn't like, you're absolutely despise vegetables, or you are just not in,
Or if you're traveling, that I would say that's
that's a good
one
one
thing
too.
that's
Yep.
beneficial to take maybe when you're traveling for a period of time and you're like,
Yep.
okay, I'm not going to be eating my regular foods. I'm probably not going to be getting as many vegetables as I usually do. That one might be beneficial to take a couple doses with you, just so you're like, okay, I'm trying to get something in while I'm doing all this traveling. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. And then amino acids, I think this is one that's interesting too. It kind of goes along the line of the protein side. I think there's a time and a place where amino acids make a lot of sense. If you are someone who is training a lot, like 6, 7 days a week, an hour each time, you're
yeah,
getting more than 6 hours a week of training in. That can definitely help. Amino acids are the building blocks to protein utilization.
yeah.
But if you're doing complete proteins, you're eating a good quality whole foods diet, it's one of those that you probably could live without. So it
Save
really just,
save your money. I mean, you can take it if you want, but it's not going to be like this game changer. So it's like, well, just eat your protein, which you need to be doing anyway.
yep,
So, yeah.
it's just simplifying it. That's the thing that it comes down to. With those two
Yeah.
specifically, they're not things that aren't necessarily
They're not
lacking
bad.
benefit,
They're fine.
but and that goes back to two, like just kind of recapping a few of these before we talk about what's not worth taking. The joint health and longevity, like I'm not doing the glucosamine chondroitin right now. The electrolytes and the performance stuff, like that's more as needed or as we're training.
Hmm.
I will do the electrolytes daily just because
I was gonna
we
say
are pretty active.
we drink electrolytes every day.
Yeah, the gut health, like as we go through these, there's time and a place for each one. But the greens and the aminos just aren't ones that we feel all that strongly about prioritizing.
Correct. Yep. What's not worth taking? What are things that we think are overhyped or just unnecessary?
I feel like you hear a lot of people talking about fat burners.
Yeah.
Should I be taking a fat
Or
burner?
like an L-carnitine or a fat burner, and it's
Well,
like, well,
not all fat burners are created equal.
for sure, just like all of the rest of these.
I think that there's a lot of generic test boosters, detox, MLM, superfoods,
Like Juice Plus, all
Juice
these.
Plus, all these things.
Yeah.
There are things that have hidden doses of stuff that aren't necessarily regulated
Or
or
oh my gosh,
you got it.
proprietary blends.
One more time.
Proprietary.
Proprietary.
Proprietary blends.
I had to put you on blast there
Yeah, sorry, I
because I
put
felt
you
like
on
I owed
blast
you one. I don't even
earlier.
remember what it was for,
Yeah.
but
I'll remind you later.
yeah,
Well, because with proprietary blends,
good job.
they don't have to disclose what's all included or the amount of each of the things that are in that blend. So you just don't even really know what you're getting with
Here's
those.
what's crazy about this. I could go home in our garage, order a bunch of plastic containers off of Amazon. I can make my own proprietary supplement blend. I can make a really nice, pretty label. I could do a great job with marketing. I could slap it on there, and I just got to go get somebody who will sell it. There's no regulation process for this. The FDA does not regulate supplements. So there's opportunities for it to be third-party tested and GMP stamped, which goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. Those things are key in looking up where's the data behind the supplement.
Yes.
Is this legit? Is it quality? Is it sourced well? Or did somebody make it in their garage or some warehouse and make all these crazy claims about the miracles that this has worked and all the things it's done? Just gotta be careful.
I'll relate this back to Thorne specifically, the company that we get 90% of our supplements from, right? I've seen people order a Thorne product on Amazon because you can search Thorne products on Amazon, and they bought it, and you hold up, I mean, if it's shipped from Thorne or whatever, okay, cool, it's probably legit. You have to also see like who's distributing it, who are you buying it from on Amazon. But they put something that they ordered on Amazon from Thorne and then something from Thorne's like actual website, and the labels were so similar but just slightly different. I don't remember all the differences. There's a lot of knockoffs, and so it's, again, I personally, there's certain supplements that I would order on Amazon and certain ones that I wouldn't, right? And again, who is it getting distributed from? Who is selling it on Amazon? Where are you getting it from? So do your due diligence. NSF certified, GMP stamped, third-party tested. Like, you just look for those things.
For sure. Wrapping this up, friendly reminder, supplements are here to supplement
a healthy diet and lifestyle.
Correct. It's a big industry. There's lots of confusion out there. There's a lot of money to be made in supplements. You can't trust everybody. But you can trust Thorne and
us. You can trust us.
For sure. And we're not going to just tell you to take things for no reason. I would still encourage you to do your own research.
And you don't need to take all the things that we talked about today.
Not at all. You don't have to take anything if you don't want to. Just remember that these are here to close the gap from going from good to great. And if you're not doing a lot of the basics, start there. Improve your food intake, get more quality whole foods, start training more consistently, improve your recovery, and then you can add supplementation after the fact.
And we will put our link to Thorne in the show notes here so you can check it out. Look at them as a company. We fully trust them. We get all of our stuff there, aside from the few things that we get at other places. But also,
we're affiliated with UCAN. You get a discount with them. I believe it's 10%.
We can put our
15. I don't know.
I think we can put our link in there too.
If you order the element through our,
you get a free sample pack.
You'll get that as well.
So we'll put all our connections in the show notes. But if you're interested in getting a discount with Thorne, send us a message and we can add you to our client directory where you can get a discount.
You can either send that to @HigherFormPodcast on Facebook or Instagram, or you can email us at higherformpodcast@gmail.com. I think we've gone through enough supplements. We've touched base on a lot of them. The final reminder, do your due diligence. Take what you think makes the most sense and start with the basics before you get into supplementation.
And if you don't know where to start, get some labs done. Talk to somebody.
There's lots of professionals out there.
We have some here in our business. If you would like to chat with somebody, let us know.
We've got it. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks. This episode of the Higher Form podcast is powered by Avexia Health and Performance, your home for smart training, simple nutrition, and real accountability. Built to help you look, feel, and perform your best. Whether you're just getting started or chasing your next level, visit AvexiaKC.com to learn more and start building your higher form today.